So Klarna just cut $10 million a year out of their marketing budget. And the wild part is, they did it with the exact same team, running more campaigns than before, not fewer. And the tools they used to pull it off? Almost free. But here's what's strange. Most companies using the exact same AI are getting basically nothing back from it. So today, I want to show you the real difference between those two outcomes. And honestly, it has almost nothing to do with budget. We'll walk through 5 things. First, Klarna's actual receipts, then the numbers hiding underneath all the hype, then the 3 traps that keep most teams stuck, the simple loop the winners run instead, and finally, exactly what you do in your first week. So let's start with the receipts, because Klarna's CEO actually published these himself. The biggest single chunk was $6 million saved on image production alone, just by switching over to generative tools. And it wasn't only about the money. Their image cycle used to take 6 weeks, and now it takes about 7 days, which means they're shipping far more campaigns with the same people. That's what doing it right actually looks like. Then, another $4 million came off their outside suppliers, translation, production, the social agencies, and they didn't get there by squeezing anyone. They got there because they simply needed less. So here's the one line that explains this whole video, and I want you to hold on to it. Adoption is free, but advantage is earned. Klarna earned theirs. Most teams just adopted. Now, let's zoom out to the whole industry, because Salesforce just surveyed 8,000 marketers. 87% of them now use generative AI every single week, and just 2 years ago, that number was only 51. And if you think about it, that's the fastest any tool has ever spread through marketing. Faster than social, faster than mobile. So basically, everyone is in the pool now. But the same report hides the punchline, and it's a brutal one. 84% of those marketers admit their campaigns are still generic, the same blast going out to every customer on every channel. So picture a street where every restaurant buys the same professional knives on the same day. Did the food get better anywhere? No, the prep just got faster. AI is the knife, and it was never the recipe. So what actually separates Klarna from that 84%? It really comes down to 3 traps: messy data, no written brand voice, and measuring nothing. Let's take them one at a time, because each one has a fix that's almost embarrassingly cheap. The first trap is data, and Salesforce ranks messy, siloed data as the #1 blocker. Above budget, above skills. And the reason is simple. Your AI can only personalize from what it can actually see. So if your purchase history lives in one tool, your support tickets in another, and your email stats in a third, and you ask AI to write something personal on top of all that mess, you already know what you get back. Dear valued customer. But the fix here isn't some giant data warehouse project. You just pick one data set, start with your customer list, and you kill the duplicates and fix the dead emails. Honestly, that's one afternoon. The second trap is voice, because most brand voices only really live inside the founder's head. So when 10 different people prompt the same model, you get 10 different brands. Or worse, you get something that sounds exactly like everyone else's AI. And the fix is just one page. You write down the words you always use, the words you never use, 3 sentences that sound like you, and 3 that don't. And then you paste that into every prompt your team runs. The third trap is the silent killer, and it's measuring nothing. So teams ship 10 times more content and never check what actually moved, which means the AI never compounds, it just piles up. You don't get better, you just get busier. So if you just flip those 3 traps around, you get the exact loop the winners run. You clean one dataset, you write the voice page, you point AI at one single workflow, and then you measure it for a month before you change anything. And yeah, that sounds boring, but that's completely the point. The exciting all-at-once sprints are the ones that become failure stories, while the boring little loops are what quietly compound into Klarna-sized numbers. So we're about halfway, and if your head is spinning a little, that's fine, just keep the one line. Adoption is free, advantage is earned. Everything else today is really a footnote to that. Now, here's the payoff, and it's a real one. Salesforce found that marketers who actually do this properly get about 6 hours back every single week, and the senior people report closer to 8 or 10. But what you do with that time is the real fork in the road. Because the losers just buy themselves a faster treadmill, more generic posts, while the winners spend it on the stuff AI can't do: sharper offers, real tests, and actual conversations with customers. And the stakes here are about to double because Duke's CMO survey says AI runs about a quarter of marketing work today, and the leaders expect that to pass half within just 3 years. On top of that, 82% of marketers already expect AI agents, systems that act on their own, to lift their returns. So think of an agent as an amplifier because it scales whatever you feed it, which means if you feed it clean data and a clear voice, it sells for you while you sleep. But if you feed it the mess most teams are running today, it just scales that mess confidently at 3 in the morning to real customers. Now let me be straight with you for a second. Klarna has engineers most businesses just don't have. So no, you're not going to copy their stack in a week. And the good news is you really don't need to, because here's where your actual edge is, especially in Southeast Asia. In Singapore, only about 15% of small businesses are using AI right now, against more than 60% of the large enterprises. And the big players move through committees and vendor contracts, which means a small team running this loop can genuinely out-execute companies 50 times its size, but only for about a year, because windows like this always close. So here's your week 1, and it's just 3 moves. On Monday, you audit your customer list and count the duplicates. Midweek, you write that 1-page voice guide. And on Friday, you pick one workflow with one metric: replies, not opens. And then comes the genuinely hard part. You don't touch it for a month. You just let the measurement breathe, because that 1 month of discipline is basically the whole entry ticket. So Klarna's 10 million didn't come from better tools, because everyone has the tools now. Adoption is free. Advantage is earned. We dig into the data behind AI marketing every week, so subscribe if that's useful. And the links are below, including AIwise.sg. Now, I'm curious, which trap is yours? Data, voice, or measurement?